Are live. What is going on, Beehive? We have some crazy news today. Who knew that Mama Bear was about to be arrested for the same thing her son did? We did. We knew it. We just didn't think, or at least I didn't think that it was going to come that freaking fast. For those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, Donna Adelson, Charlie Adelson, the guy we've been covering for the last 2 or 3 weeks, in his murder trial, his mother has been arrested. The one that we felt like Donna was on trial. Donna was on trial for Charlie's trial, and she's been arrested. So we're going to talk about it. We got the arrest affidavit, the probable cause. Why are they arresting her? Why did they arrest her 1 week? Has it even been a whole week? 1 week after her son was actually convicted of the crime. And if you guys remember correctly, Charlie was all up in there talking about on the, what is it called? The whatever Vita tape to Catherine McDaniel, talking about, if they had solid evidence on us, we will be on a flight right now. Well, Mama tried to get on a flight and that got her arrested faster than the state was intending to arrest her. All right, so Kimmy got the PowerPoints. We're going to finish up the talking, or not the talking points, but we're going to finish up the testimony from Charlie Adelson's trial. And we're going to talk about Mama Donna's new arrest affidavit and why she was arrested. What do they have on her? Why are they arresting her now rather than waiting? For those of you who do not know me, I am Boss Attorney Bree, and here on this channel we cover, I haven't said this in a long time, but we cover trademark lawsuits, celebrity lawsuits, and I can't even remember my tagline. Like, what is it? We cover really whatever the heck we feel like covering, and today we are covering whatever the heck we feel like covering because we're covering a murder trial, which I watch on my off time, but it's not my area of law, but we're covering it anyways. Let me go ahead and see who is watching live, y'all. If you have not already, please do hit the like button on your way in. I am still trying to catch my breath because I just ran downstairs and upstairs, and now I'm trying to talk. So if I sound out of breath, y'all, that is why. We got Cricket saying, hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome into the live stream. Nice to see you today. We got Summer Butterfly, a member of the channel for 5 months. Thank you so much for the support. Saying hello and good evening, everyone. Hello, and welcome into the live stream. It's nice to see you tonight. We got Kimmy Locker, member, moderator, paralegal of the channel, made us a super awesome PowerPoint last week that we're going to finish up. Saying hello, Bree Hive, hello, and welcome into the live stream. Nice to have you here tonight. We have Love, Dream, and Peach dropping a heart and a bomb because we are the bomb, but we're also lovely. We're also lovely, right? Nice to see you tonight. We have Uncivil Law popping in, saying hi to me. Long time no see. Yeah, I was missing in action for quite a while, but I've been back for quite a while. Nice to see you in the chat today. Hope you're having a good day. Have you been looking at this trial, or what are you covering these days? I don't have a lot of time to watch YouTube lately, but let us know what you've been covering. Kurt from Uncivil Law. Cricket says, in regards to Donna's trial, can they include Charlie's conviction, or would that be too prejudicial? They can talk about it. They're going to talk about it. We already got their son, just like they talked about. We already got McDaniel. We already got Garcia. We already got Rivera. Yeah, they can bring it up. And they're going to bring up the tapes, and they're actually hinting at the fact that they have more evidence than what we have actually seen. So I'm like, do they have something that's just like directly against Donna? Because why would you not bring it out in Charlie's trial? Just to make sure you get that conviction if it had Charlie in it. I'm thinking like some stuff. More stuff on Harvey is probably going to come out, and more stuff on Wendy is probably going to come out in Donna's trial. Ooh, I hope they don't take forever to get to trial on that. Because what? Charlie was arrested in 2022, had his trial by 2023. So hopefully we will be seeing a trial for Donna next year. Hopefully. Let's see. Mary Malaki says, hey, chat and mods. Glad Bree is covering the news. Yes, welcome. Nice to see you again, Mary Malarkey. I was shocked. Kimmy sent me the text earlier. I did not even see it. And Kimmy texted me this morning and was like, she was arrested. And I looked it up, and darn sure she was arrested. So we were like, we have to cover this today. Uncivil says, I took 2 weeks off. I'm working on some scripted stuff. Oh, wow. Nice. Next video is on former prosecutor Mosby of Baltimore, who just got convicted of perjury by the feds. I don't think I'm familiar with that, but it sounds really interesting. So more scripted, not necessarily a live stream. That should be fun. I kind of like the tailored videos. I just suck at recording them. So I just get on live stream and mess up all day. and we still have friends here, so that's fun. But I'm gonna try to look. I haven't been going to the gym lately, and that's normally where I watch like everyone's YouTube channels while I work out, and I haven't been working out. So hopefully I catch it when you release it. Z Seltzer, another member of the channel, saying, hi, Bree Hive, hand waving pink. I think I read that backwards, but hello and welcome into the live stream. Nice to see you. Tanya D says, hi, Bree and Bree Hive. Hi, Tanya D. Welcome into the live stream. Another member and moderator of the channel. Lovely to see you tonight. Love, Dream, and Peach says, question. I've seen some people say they think Wendy's next, and other people saying they don't think Wendy is going to get arrested. What do you think? I think that she's going to get arrested, but I think it's after they get mom. Because I think that more evidence on Wendy is going to come out. And remember, for Wendy, the prosecution gave her immunity for her testimony in Charlie's trial, which indicates to me that they also plan on arresting her eventually, but maybe not quite yet. And out of everyone other than Harvey, I believe that, is his name Harvey? Am I just making that up? Yeah, I think his name is Harvey. I think they have the least evidence on Harvey. Then it's Wendy, then Donna, then Charlie, and which is why Charlie was arrested first. So I think they're going to go down the line until they can really get everyone. Oh my gosh, why is he got the TV so loud? Hold on. I hope y'all cannot hear that. Give me a second. I got explosions going on downstairs. Can you turn the TV down? Okay, because my whole room is shaking at this point. Okay, so where were we at? I think that she is going to eventually get arrested, but I don't think it's going to be soon after. Now, Donna was not supposed to get arrested this quick, and they actually said, well, in some of the articles said that they are not articles. The police department said they did not have enough on Harvey yet. Or not yet, but they didn't have enough on him to arrest him. We're going to get into it. Have you guys heard the story, or is this like your first time hearing about her? Because it's some tea. It's definitely some tea. Boo, I'm a ghost. Hello and welcome into the live stream, saying, hey, y'all, I can only stay for a little bit, but I'm glad to finally be able to catch another stream. We are happy to have you here live. Thank you for stopping by. Cricket says, Wendy feels hard to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. I think she's still going to get arrested. I don't know if they'll be able to convict her. I think they kept her out of the loop pretty well. Love, Dream, and Peace says, do you think they might have more evidence of talks, chats, texts, emails between Charlie, Donna, and Wendy? I think more stuff is going to come out between, yes, all three of them, really. But I'm wondering, like, if it is with Charlie, why did they not use it in the Charlie trial? And you guys know what? I was talking mess or saying like one lady that I thought was Donna Adelson. She wasn't looking her best. It actually was not Donna Adelson. I think it was someone from the Markell family, and that's why they kept showing her on the screen. But it wasn't Donna Adelson. She still pretty much looks the same, but a little older, of course. So, yeah, I think more information is going to come out on all three of them, but I'm wondering if it involves Charlie, or maybe more on Harvey. If it involves Charlie, I'm just wondering why they did not use it in his trial. So let me get this reminder in, and then we're going to get ready to share the screen. Tanya D says, make sure you hit the like button on your way in to support the channel and help us find more friends. Yes, of course. Thank you for the reminder, Tanya D. If you guys have not hit the like button, please do. Let's see. We have 15 people watching live and 18 likes, so we're doing wonderful. Okay? Yes, shout out to the Bree Hive. Thank you very much. Look, I'm still clapping like I don't have my little soundboard, okay? We got it. We're learning how to use it. Let's go. Let me go ahead and share the screen so that we can start taking a peek at the arrest affidavit, and then we're going to jump into Kimmy's awesome PowerPoint and go through the rest of the testimony there. I ended up finishing the trial, so that was amazing. And let me tell you guys, Charlie, someone asked me last week, do you think that Charlie testifying hurt him? And I didn't really know how to answer it. Him explaining things away, but I had not really watched his testimony. I only watched maybe like 20 minutes of it. But after watching his testimony, I truly believe he screwed himself. I truly believe he screwed himself. He came off as a liar to me. He came off as trying to convince the jury of, you basically, I got a yellow ball and you're telling me that it's green. That's what his testimony came off as to me. It was very, very forced. He tried to come off as too relatable, in my opinion, and then he came off as not relatable. And as soon as the prosecution started asking him questions, oh yeah, it went downhill from him. It went all the way downhill for him, in my opinion. So let me go ahead and jump into, let's get the screen sharing abilities going real quick. He still has all the explosions going on downstairs, and I don't know why he got, like, why does the TV have to be that loud? Is it me or is it him? I think it's him. Let me go ahead and we're gonna jump right into the affidavit. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let's get it bigger. What is this little thing? I don't know. Maybe I should have downloaded it. Okay, this is the downloaded one. Hide that and make it bigger. Boom. Let's talk about it. This is the first appearance for Donna Sue Adelson. Donna Sue, you are in some trouble. Charlie Edelson's mom arrested already. So let's see what does the law enforcement think they have against her. The charges are for first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit first-degree murder, and solicitation to commit first-degree murder, i.e. elimination, which are all the same charges that Charlie actually had. It goes on to say this affidavit sets forth probable cause to believe that Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera murdered Florida State University law professor Daniel Markel, and the murder was arranged through Catherine McBagua, Charles Adelson, and Donald Adelson in violation of Florida statutes for murder. On July 18, 20, why can I not read today? On Friday, July 18th, 2014 at 11:02 a.m., a report of a shooting was received at 2116 Trescott Drive, the home of the Florida State University law professor Daniel Markel in Tallahassee, Florida. Upon arrival, Tallahassee police officers found Markel slumped over. Let me see. I'm going to skip through this because it kind of talks about things we already kind of covered on this channel. Okay, they had a contentious divorce. Let me see. Where do they start bringing up Donna? Okay. Hold on, y'all. I can't. Give me a minute because this TV is like way too loud downstairs. So give me one. All right. Sorry about that, y'all. The TV was like shaking the whole room. I'm like, what you got going on down there? Party or what? Okay, so let's see. Wendy's parents, Harvey and Donna Adelson, made contact with the lead Tallahassee Police Department investigator at Markel's memorial service on Sunday, July 20th, 2014. They agreed to contact the Tallahassee PD investigator to arrange an interview before returning to South Florida the following day. Tallahassee PD investigator contacted Wendy on her cellular telephone. Once the investigator identified himself, Wendy claimed to have a bad connection and the call was terminated. Less than 5 minutes later, Wendy's attorney called the investigator and informed him that Wendy left town with her children and parents en route to South Florida. The attorney could not provide a date for Wendy's return to Tallahassee and requested he be contacted for further inquiry. So basically, she's not about to talk to the police on this matter without her attorney. On July 18th, 2014, Markel left his home. We already know about that. They caught him on the surveillance camera. What do y'all have against Donna Adelson? And I'm sorry, y'all, I did not have time to go through this fully before we got on here. Otherwise, I would have found it. They go ahead and go through that contact list that they went through the trial. We got Rivera to Garcia's. We're communicating on Monroe Street. Mbangwa contacted Garcia. Charlie Adelson contacted Mbangwa. Mbangwa contacts Charlie. Charlie contacts Donna. Charlie contacts Mbangwa. Donna contacts Wendy. Daniel Markel drops his children off at the preschool. So they're having all of these phone calls. Daniel to Wendy. Charlie to Wendy, Wendy to Charlie, Charlie to Donna, Charlie to Mbangwa, Mbangwa to Charlie, Mbangwa to Charlie, Charlie to Mbangwa. Neighbors hear gunshots and see a small light-colored vehicle pulling out of Markel's driveway. And then we have subjects on the phone with Markel, attempts to call Markel back. Call goes to voicemail. Subjects text Markel asking if he's okay. What? Are they calling Donna the suspect? Okay, let's go on. Markel's neighbor calls 911. Donna calls Charlie. Charlie calls Donna. Charlie calls Mbangwa. Charlie calls Mbangwa. Okay, so again, they're on the phone. He went to the gym. Approximately 2 hours after Garcia and Rivera arrived back in Miami, Mbangwa departed her residence and went to Rivera's residence while attempting to contact Garcia. Okay, let's see. Where do they have the information on her? I want to go through all of this. Okay, so the morning, let's see. Okay, they're talking about the bump where they contact Donna. Okay, so a review of their financial records indicated that Charles Adelson and Donna Adelson have the financial means to finance this murder and provide ongoing compensation to Mbangwa. On April 19, 2016, an undercover agent made contact with Donna Adelson in reference to Markel's murder. The undercover agent provided a press release of Markel's murder, asked for $5,000 and provided a phone number at which he could be contacted. As a result of this contact, conversations were intercepted. Donna called Charlie, asking him to meet her about some paperwork that was hand delivered to her outside of her condo. Let's see. During this conversation, Charlie inquired whether it involved him or others. Donna responded in a whisper, "Well, probably both of us." When Charlie asked her to repeat herself, she said, "Probably the two of us, and you probably have a general idea of what I'm talking about." When Charles inquired further, Donna said it was not something to discuss over the phone. As we know, they go back and forth talking on the phone. Charlie keeps trying to figure out what's going on. Donna is basically being super secretive about the situation, which led him, Donna mentioned his ex-girlfriend, and Charlie immediately called Mbangwa. After trying to reach her by phone unsuccessfully about an hour before, Charles explained the situation to McBanois as he understood it from his mother, something regarding her son, something regarding his ex-girlfriend, and the person asking for some money. Charles tells McBanois that he's going to see his mom the next day to discuss the matter. There is some discussion of whether McBanois is the girlfriend referenced by the agent. Charlie said he thought his mother said the agent mentioned McBanois' name, but he is not sure and will follow up with her if the situation does not involve her. Charles never contacted any other females to discuss the contact between his mother and the undercover agent, basically indicating that they are talking about McBanois was included in that situation. Okay. Okay. And actually, Kimmy is going through the affidavit for us and highlighting it for us because it's like a bunch of stuff that I didn't realize they basically write out the whole case here, which I'm like, just get to the point of what Donna did. But I'm still going to jump around in there instead of going into Charlie's testimony because I want to make sure we're not flipping around too much. That he called his mom. After meeting with Donna in person, he called McBanois to travel to the Sunny Isle at the real estate office where she worked. When Charles arrived at the strip mall where McBanois worked, they talked briefly outside and went into a restaurant. That's where they basically recorded some things. Let's see. They talk about asking for money, but all of this is conversation between Charlie and McBanois. We're not going to read through that whole thing. After the in-person meeting with McBanois, Charlie called Donna back to report about his meeting and said he is handling everything. Donna then called Charles back, sounding very concerned. On April 21st, 2016, calls were intercepted between McBanois and Charlie, and they attempted to disguise their conversation using real estate references such as security, property, posted incorrectly, and wrong tenants for the rental property. Charles and his dad, Harvey, met for dinner later that evening, basically trying to, absolve mama from things. So he talked to the dad. Let's see. They had numerous arguments over the phone, Garcia and McBanois did. The morning of April 21st, 2016, it appeared McBanois was trying to convince Garcia to figure out who the phone number belonged to and place the call himself. In a heated exchange, Garcia said, "I'm not making the effing call." He later said, "I'm going to take care of this effing problem." On Monday, April 25th, 2016, a letter was sent to Harvey and Donna Adelson. The letter was sent via USPS by investigators for the purpose of follow-up from the undercover's initial conversation. Calls intercepted indicate that Donna shared the information with Charles, who in turn forwarded to McBanois. McBanois again asked Garcia to either determine who the phone number belonged to or call the number. McBanois reported to Charles that the phone was either out of service or not a good number. It appeared that Garcia lied to McBanois about making the call. Let's see, they go on and on about these conversations back and forth. Charles wanted to talk to Donna before Sunday, and they agreed. They came around 11:30. They went to the Icon. This time, Harvey is present with Charles and Donna, and they huddled in a corner for privacy. There is no oral interception. Okay, tell me about Donna. Donna successfully contacted the agent by calling his number. The total duration of the call was 8 minutes and 48 seconds. The call was recorded by the FBI. In summary, Donna made the excuse her grandchildren had possession of her phone, so she did not know he called. Donna went over the previous context between herself and the agent. She said she took him seriously and she was stressed out. She claimed she asked friends what she should do. She denied knowing anything referenced by the agent concerning help provided to her by the agent's friend Rivera. She then brought up the reward offered and suggested he seek that out instead. The agent reminded her all he asked for was $5,000. Donna claimed that she had nothing to do with the death of her ex-son-in-law and that she was left out of the loop. The agent reminded her the problem was not going away and she did not know McBanois and what was done for her. Donna continued to deny knowledge and ended the conversation by saying she would call the agent back. So they start getting into Donna's mess here. Charlie calls McBanois about a new CD he wanted her to listen to, a recording, indicating he had a recording of the call between Donna and the agent. Charles used the reference "Potbelly Pigs" for police. To which McBanois responded, "That's not good." May 25th, Salfredo Garcia was arrested for his involvement. So very shortly after, about, what is that, 12 days or so after, he was arrested. On May 26th, electronic surveillance suggested that Charlie and Catherine were in close proximity to each other and may have met in an overnight early morning hours. On June 28th, Luis Rivera was arrested for his involvement in the case. On September 30th, 2016, a proffer was conducted with Luis Rivera in the presence of his attorney. This proffer was not recorded. Rivera was sworn prior to any testimony. Rivera stated he has known Garcia since childhood. Garcia told Rivera about the high dollar robbery he wanted to do with Rivera. Okay, let's see where we are with it. They went to visit. They didn't get it done in June. Okay, this is Rivera telling the police his story about what they did, how they went up there. In July 2018, contact was made with June Umachita. Umachita was a girlfriend of Charlie at the time of the undercover operation, in which an FBI agent approached Donna Adelson. Of relevance in her interview was her recollection of Charles Adelson having stapled money in the safe in his residence. June stated she followed the case in the news, and when she heard about the stapled money, she found it odd because she remembered Charles keeping his that way. June also testified that Charlie Adelson was acting angry, agitated, and nervous around the time the undercover operation and McBanois' arrest. Adelson advised June that he gave McBanois a car and financed a portion of her breast augmentation. June Umchida also observed Donna Adelson to be stressed out during this time frame, and Donna Adelson made a statement to June that she felt Dan Markel was haunting her from his grave. Why would she say that? Why would she say that? In July 2021, contact was made with Ryan Fitzpatrick. During the interview with Fitzpatrick, it was learned that the two had a falling out in the recent years over financial disagreements. He said Charles' entire demeanor changed when McBanois was arrested. Charlie started putting up security cameras and was constantly paranoid of arrest. During a conversation with Fitzpatrick, Charles Adelson said, "You can get away with murder if you keep your mouth shut." Fitzpatrick also stated he knows Charles staples money together because he has received money from him in that matter. Fitzpatrick said Charlie staples his money in $1,000 increments. Now, I don't know if you say something like that. I agree with Charlie. If you keep your mouth shut, you probably can get away with it as long as you don't leave any traces like they attempted to do. But the problem is that they did not keep their mouth shut. In October 2019, Garcia was tried and convicted. He was sentenced to life in prison. In April 2022, after the clarified audio recording from Dolce Vita revealed Charles Adelson making additional incriminating statements, he was arrested for first-degree murder, solicitation to commit first-degree, and conspiracy to commit first-degree. In May 2022, Catherine McBanois was tried and convicted, and she was sentenced to life in prison. In October 2022 and November 2022, the proffers previously mentioned were conducted with Catherine McBanois. In October 2023 trial, so last week, right, of Charles Adelson commenced on November 6th. Charles Adelson was found guilty on all charges. So for, I believe it was Kat who asked, do you think they're gonna bring up Charles's conviction? They already have in the affidavit. He is set to be sentenced in December 2023. In Adelson's trial, McBanois testified that Adelson told her that his mother, Donna Sue Adelson, had just departed her residence at the time McBanois arrived on the night of the homicide. McBanois said the money she received appeared to have been washed. Jail calls from Charlie Adelson's guilty verdict include multiple calls. This is what y'all want to hear. Jail calls after Charles Adelson's guilty verdict include multiple calls in which Donna Sue Adelson is telling Charles Adelson that she is getting things in order, creating trust, and making sure her grandchildren are taken care of. And now, could these be completely innocent statements? Potentially. Could it be that Donna Adelson is is innocent, but she knows that the all of Florida and maybe even the United States thinks that she's guilty, so she's gonna get the heck up out of there. Possibly. Do I think that she was actually involved? Yes, that is my opinion. But she could easily say, like, oh no, I didn't do it. However, since you guys convicted my son and he's not guilty, is what she'll argue, I assumed you guys would try to come after me, even though I'm not guilty. Makes a lot of sense, right? Donna discusses plans for a suicide, like you gonna X off yourself over this because you don't want to be in jail. If you didn't do it, you wouldn't be thinking about suicide. But also discusses plans to fee to a non-extradition company or country, not company. Donna Adelson also has considerable financial resources to accomplish this because they have a lot of money. On November 7th, 2023, Donna and Harvey Adelson, what did they do? They booked flights to Vietnam with a stop in Dubai. The flight departs Miami on November 13th. When was that? Last night. To Dubai. Departs Dubai from November 15th at 9:35 a.m. It lands in Saigon. What is the significance of them flying to Vietnam? It is a non-extradition company, which means if they were able to make it to Vietnam, there's no treaty in place that Vietnam will have to then return them back. So they were getting out of there and they were going to live their life, the remainder of their lives free, while their son sits in jail, while Dan Markel lost his life, while the other killer sits in jail. She was going to escape to a place where they could not send her back to the United States to be tried. The prosecution indicated that they did not intend to arrest her so quickly, but the fact that she bought the ticket on November 7th? November 7th. When was he convicted? He was convicted on November 6th. He was convicted on November 6th, and she bought a ticket to get up out of here on November 7th, and it was a one-way ticket. There was not a return flight. My girl was not planning on coming back, much like Wendy allegedly was not planning on coming back when she went and stayed in Miami after Dan's death. So, I mean, it may just run in the family. They just don't book return tickets. They don't have plans to return places, but it sounds a little guilty to me. This probable cause affidavit is not that. I mean, we did kind of skim through it, but it's still, the case is against other people. They're making this circumstantial case really against other people, and they're saying, okay, let's convict on them, right? Let's convict on them. Let's see what else do we have here before I jump into the chat. This cause coming before me as a first appearance, magistrate, and having reviewed the preceding affidavit, the court finds probable cause from Stephen Everett, which is still the same judge that just did Charlie's case. So is it probable cause? A lot of the evidence in they basically just put the trial on this paperwork. So I guess it is probable cause, but like I said, it just feels like they're testifying against other people in other people's cases, right? Okay, let's see here. This is the County of Leon, Florida. In the name and by the authority of the state of Florida, to all and singular the sheriffs of the state of Florida, whereas a complaint has this day been filed before me by investigator John Newland, who being first duly sworn says that the 18th day of July of 2014, did they put AD? People still use that AD like after death and then the BC? I didn't know that. In Leon County, Florida, the aforesaid defendant did commit the unlawful killing of a human being, Daniel E. Markel, by shooting him with a firearm, and killing was perpetrated from a premeditated design to effect his death. Contrary to the statute, rule, regulation, and or other provision of the law in such case made and provided and against the peace and dignity of the state of Florida. They put some words together there. That's so confusing to read. These are therefore to command you to arrest instanter the aforesaid defendant and bring him or her before me to be dealt with, according to the law given under my hand and seal this 13th day of November 2023. So they got the warrant for her arrest the same day that she was about to leave. So she was almost out of here. Why did they wait a whole week? Oh my gosh. There is no contact with the co-conspirator, and they put FAR. She has no bond. She cannot submit a bond. Let's see here. This is the complaint. Before me, the undersigned authority personally appeared. Oh, we already read that. It's pretty similar. Basically, she committed murder. This one is for solicitation. Okay, this one was for conspiracy, I think. Yeah, and then this one was for the solicitation, so the murder for hire. And then this one, that one also says solicitation. And then this one was for conspiracy. Okay, so they had like two in a row of the same thing. Right? Yeah, because all of these are for Donna. And they didn't have enough to get Harvey. So they got the warrant for her arrest. They also got the affidavit. Like I said, the affidavit, I didn't like it too much. I did kind of skim through it. So that's a thing. Let's see. We have a court appearance. Do you guys want to watch the court appearance? Is it long, Kimmy? I know it's going to take a while. Let me see. It looks like it's only 2 minutes. So we're going to put it on the screen. Put it on the screen. Put it on the screen. Let me stop sharing screen and then share screen. And then because we need the audio to come with it, also share system audio. Oops, that's me. All right. Also share tab audio. Okay, so share. Let's see. Donna Adelson. It's only 2 minutes. So let's go.
Ma'am, you were arrested on a warrant from Leon County, Florida. The charges are public order crimes. It says attempted.
Give me a second. Let me get the sound on. Okay, so she's being arrested on
solicitation, conspiracy to commit a capital felony, homicide, willful, it says homicide, but maybe attempted homicide, I'm sorry. Attempted solicitation or conspiracy to commit homicide. And it looks like 2 counts of that. So your attorney is here. Ms. Delcaso, anything you want to say?
Good morning, Your Honor. Marisol Descalzo on behalf of Donna Adelson. We are going to waive extradition to Leon County.
It's an in-state warrant, which means, so basically we have a warrant from Leon County. It sounds like really serious charges. They have up to 15 days to come and pick you up. The reset date here is November 29th to make sure you get picked up. So Ms. Delcazo, what you can do is reach out to Leon County, the prosecutor's office there, and see if they'll agree to a bond. If they do agree to a bond, you're welcome to contact Ms. F. She can send you a sample order we use. And with that order, we can sign.
I think it's unlikely there's going to be an agreement on this.
The solicitation case. Anyway. Okay, so you want to hear something funny though? She looks like a lady that was on my airplane yesterday. Did you come in from Paris?
I did not. I wish.
Oh,
she looks like a lady on the airplane. And I'm sorry you're going through all this. They have 15 days to pick you up. The reset date's November 29th. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Good luck to you.
All right. So she tried to waive extradition, but the judge is like, we're all in the same state. So there's not really extradition. They can come pick you up. They are going to come pick her up. So, yeah. The judge was like, you look like somebody I saw on my plane. I thought she was talking about Donna Adelson, but I guess she was talking about the attorney. So this is going to be fairly interesting, I think. Let me go ahead and jump through some of the chat. I know I was reading for a while. Kimmy went through and starred the, I believe, the comments that were about the case. So if we miss any of them, please let us know and let me see what the people are saying. We already shouted out to Summer Butterfly for being a member for 5 months. Yes, thank you for the support. Tanya D says, you were kept out of the loop of what, Donna? She was kept out of the loop of what was going on, allegedly. No, she knew exactly what was going on. She knows she going to jail. Like, even if she didn't do it, there's just so much stuff that make it look like she did do it, especially trying to flee the country. And she could argue they wrongfully convicted my son. I didn't want them to wrongfully convict me. She could argue that, but it still looks mad guilty. Mary Malarkey says to Tanya D, I was in the process of replying to Donna's comment to that woman. Hashtag that woman. Kimmy Locker says, either way, I bet the state's going to use Donna's action as conscious of guilt. Yes, exactly. I agree with that. Like I said, she can argue that it's because her son was wrongfully convicted in her opinion, but people are going to see, a jury is going to see that most likely as, okay, she's guilty and she's trying to avoid going to jail. Okay, let's see here. Mary Malaki says, did anyone watch the short clip of Donna walking across the street to pick up the grandkids at school and suddenly a guy walks up to her and hands her a letter? I was confused. Yes, that is the agent, what they were calling the bump, where the investigators basically had this guy go undercover, this agent go undercover and hand her basically like kind of like a ransom note, but like, hey, we know what you did. Pay me $5,000 and this goes away. So that's what that was. And then she went and picked the kids up from school. And then that's when they talk about those phone calls. She called Charlie, talking about a guy handed me a paper. It probably involves both of us, but she was trying to be really secretive. So that was that video. Tanya D says, did anyone see that? Didn't see that, Mary. Okay, yeah, it was within the trial. Cricket says, ain't that ironic? Hard to see your grandkids regularly when you're stuck in Vietnam unless they expected Wendy to move them all there. They're all going to move there together, right? You did all of this to be close to your grandkids and, take care of them and everything else. You got away with it for a while, which is very sad because those kids are pretty much almost into adulthood. I think they're like 14 and 15. So they're pretty much all the way into adulthood. And so basically she got what she wanted out of the situation. She was able to spend all of this time with her grandkids, but now she's probably going to jail if she doesn't escape, I guess. Cricket says 80 stands for Anno Domini in the year of our the Lord. Wild to see it in a legal filing. Yeah, that's what I was like, do people still use that? I thought we just assumed that 2014 was like the 2014 9 years ago, not that it could be any other 2014. Mary Malarkey says, after receiving the letter, she quickly contacted Charlie. One of the lawyers said her conversation with Charlie about the contents of the letter will not help her case. It will not help her case. She was being very secretive. She was being weird. Like, if someone came to me on the street and handed me a letter and told me that they're asking me for $5,000 and there's an article with my son-in-law's murder article on it, I'm gonna say this crazy person came up to me asking me for $5,000 and they included Dan's article on there. Like, what is going on? If you're not guilty, but she was talking about it so secretively, it makes her look guilty, even if she's not guilty. We know she's guilty. Okay, we know she's guilty, in my opinion. Okay, so you don't talk like that if you didn't do anything wrong, right? And she kept saying, oh, I don't want to talk about it on the phone. Let's meet up in person. She knows something, okay? Tiny says, why is she sleeveless? I don't know. That was the outfit that she picked. I think it's jail clothes. Is it not jail clothes? Not a jail vest? I feel like it has to be. Mary Malarkey says Donna is wearing a special vest to keep her from possibly hurting herself. Okay, yeah, I was like, I feel like that's something that they issued to her, not like her actual outfit. Oh, because she said she was going to commit suicide. Yeah, so she can't strangle herself with this kind of vest. Tanya D says, I didn't know they wouldn't let her wear a shirt though, but it makes sense. She could use the sleeves to hurt herself. Yes, exactly. She did threaten suicide, so it's a possibility that she could hurt herself. Crystal Harris, another member of the channel, says, love your shirt. Thank you very much. It's a little spicy. We like cheetah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, let's see here. All right, we got some mug shots coming on up. Let's go ahead and show this really quick. Let me stop the video and then reshare the video. And then we're going to jump into the rest of the testimony on Charlie Edelson's case in just a moment. So let's go ahead and share. This was her mugshot. I feel like she just knows. I feel like she knows, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You're going. You're going at this point, and there's nothing you could do about it. It's just too much. Like I said, I felt like Donna was the one on trial for Charlie's case. So it would shock me very much if she's not convicted. Now, like I said, potentially Wendy may not have enough evidence depending on what comes out in Donna's trial. But geez, Louise, nothing in that affidavit. I know that we read through it fast, but there was no real new evidence other than the fact that she tried to flee the country. That doesn't look guilty at all, right? That's perfectly normal. Normal people do not try to flee the country. And obviously, Charlie thought that if he didn't try to flee the country, then people would think he was innocent. So mom was like, well, they didn't think he was innocent. They still found him guilty. So let me go ahead and flee the country. Excuse me. She was like, I can't believe it. I was expecting her to get arrested like next year. I thought like the dust was going to settle. Charlie was going to get sentenced. I did not know she would be getting arrested the week after. Isn't that crazy? And she went ahead and booked her ticket the exact day after her son was found guilty, then gonna have the nerve to get on the phone with him. And it's like, dude, first of all, the police, they've already tapped your phone. Why would you think that a police phone is not monitored? Why didn't they speak in code in that one? They're going to try to say, oh, see, we weren't speaking in code there, and we knew that the phones recorded things. We knew the phone recorded things, and we didn't speak in code there, so we weren't speaking in code before. I don't know. People do silly things, which I'm happy, because if they didn't do silly things, then we wouldn't have convictions. But now that they're doing silly things, we are going to have some convictions going on there. Okay, let me go ahead and jump over into our PowerPoint. Kimmy, if you have it, are you popping onto the screen, or is this a day where you're not popping onto the screen? Let me know. Let's go ahead and transfer. Okay, y'all, I'm just pulling up my notes to go over the rest of the Charlie Edelson's testimony. If you were here on last Thursday, you know we covered, I don't know what witness we're on. Let me get to my notes. If you were here last Thursday, we covered a lot of the prosecution's case in chief about who testified and what they said, what we thought about what they said. Kimmy had an awesome PowerPoint for us showing us pictures of the people, and then also some of the evidence that was introduced with those certain people. And so let me go ahead and figure out where we are in that. I probably should have marked it somewhere where we were, because we were deep into there. We got through that. We talked about let's see, we talked about McVanois, so we got past that, and then we talked about Loretto. Oh no, we didn't. We were on the part where the employees for the Edelson institution were. That's where we were. So we went through McVanois, who was the ex-girlfriend who basically got the killers together and orchestrated between Charlie and the killers to get this thing done. We went through Charlie's other ex-girlfriend, who basically just freaking giggled and lied her way through the day, saying she didn't remember anything and she doesn't remember the time. And I don't know, there was security cameras, but there wasn't a gun, and there was a gun, and she just didn't really know what the heck she was talking about. We talked about Phil Fitzgerald, who was like, I don't like him, but that doesn't change the fact that he started acting weird when McVanois was arrested, and I did bet that he would go to jail, because I do think that he did it. So he was a great witness. If you don't watch anyone else, I say watch Fitzgerald. His testimony is fairly short as well, so I would say to watch him. All right, so see, look, I didn't wrote I put Loretto. Her name is Clarissa Libretto. Okay, let's see. she or no, I think I missed this one. Do you have another person, Kimmy, after that? Who's after her? I thought there was like an older lady. Unless she just looks different on the slide, I guess. Yeah, because that's who's after here. Okay, go back to libretto. I thought she looked different for whatever reason. So because she doesn't look like she worked anywhere for 40 years. She looks fairly young. So hopefully I'm talking about the right person, but we have Clarissa Laredo. She worked at the Edelson Institute. She only saw Catherine McDanois in the office one time. Let me see if I have someone else. No, that's it. If she is the person that I have notes for, she worked there for 40 years. She was a dental assistant. They were asked about the employees in the cleaning crew. She stated that she knew the people on the cleaning crew and Catherine was not one of them. She said that Catherine was only a patient there and she did not work at the Edelson Institute. The defense, as we know, tends not to cross-examine people. They did not cross-examine her. So the thing is, the employee's testimony went by really, really quickly. So we can jump over to the next person, which is Erica Johnson. She was the front desk assistant. Or she was the front desk. She basically like made appointments, took people's money, and she was also an assistant to Charlie. She worked at the Edelson Institute. She said that she never saw McDanois work at the practice. She was the one that Charlie called and told her not to answer the phone and not to talk to certain people. I think it was like when the police were trying to call, not to talk to those people. The recording was introduced, not to talk to I think it was investigators, and that they were talking to the wrong Edelson and they needed to be talking to the dad, not Charlie Edelson, because the dad was the one that owned the company at the time. And he also wanted her to state that she did not have access to certain things like the employees and everything that the investigation was asking about. They asked her about employees and whether they would get multiple checks at a time. She admitted that sometimes they were paid with multiple checks at a time, but normally it was just two, not stacks of checks of 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 like he was given to McDanois. She was also asked about the cleaning crew and that she stated that McDanois was not on the cleaning crew. The defense actually did cross-examine her and asked why she went back to the office, basically trying to establish that Charlie was not a scary person. He was no one to fear. What else to say? Then they cross-examined her. Let me see. Okay, so then I think prosecution came back and asked her if she remembered the conversation and whether it was on a landline or not, because Charlie was also telling her like, hey, I'm going to call you back on the landline. I'm going to call you back on the landline. It seemed to me like her and Charlie actually still had a really good relationship. Charlie smiled at her when she was on the stand. And also when she walked out, she waved and said hi to Charlie, like she was happy to be there. So again, the employees didn't really have much to say other than that McDanois never worked there. Then we had Mary Hull or Holly, I think. Mary Hull. Oh, Mary Hull. Yep. Okay. See, I spelled like everyone's name wrong. She was the police financial analysis. She testified that she testified about payments made on vehicles, and she also testified as far as the payments that were being made to McDanois, the fact that she was not an employee, but she was receiving all of these payments. She testified to the Rivera and Garcia buying cars and motorcycles, and the fact that they mostly kept their money in they basically kept their money in cash. So every time they were paid, they would basically pull out all the money that they were paid in. But during the years between 2014 and I think like 2015, 2016, they were not using their bank account as much. But as 2015 and 2015 wind down and 2016 started, they did start depositing more money back into their bank account, which indicated that they were getting some type of cash flow. outside of their regular jobs, and she indicated that they were not working those regular jobs at the time, and then they had to go back to working and using a bank account and having their check deposit there. So she testified to all of that. She testified to McBanois getting her boobs done, and then that Katie was given a Lexus from the Adelsons that she said she paid for, but she didn't actually, Hull cannot track down any payment from the Adelsons of the amount they said. I think it was like $3,000. They couldn't find any transaction between them two. So she basically testified to like all of this money was going around between 2014 and 2015, and basically the way that the conspirators were spending the money during the time. Let's see here. And I think I got everything on that. They reviewed the bank and investment account of Charlie, Donna, Harvey, and Wendy. Yes, they reviewed the bank account of Luis Rivera, Sofredo Garcia, and Catherine McBanois. Yes, so she went through everybody's finances and kind of showed what kind of money they were having during that time. And then we have the next person. And I'm sorry if I'm going through this fast, y'all, because we still got quite a few people that we have to get through. So the next person I have is Corey Hale. He's the Tallahassee police sergeant. He ruled Lacoste out as a suspect. Give me a second to get to my notes. He was initially investigating Lacoste as a suspect because they basically called him a scorned lover. He testified that Lacoste actually told him about the celebration dinner within a week of him finding out. There was some talk. Lacoste basically did not remember when he told them about it, but defense basically said, oh, well, you waited a whole year before you actually told the police about it. And this sergeant came in and said, oh no, he learned about it about a week prior and he came in and he told me about it. Let's see. The defense cross-examined him saying that the statements were incorrect if he waited. If the statements were incorrect, if is stated waited to March 2000. I don't know what I meant by that note. I'm sorry, y'all. But basically, he cleared Lacoste of saying that like he didn't wait till the last minute. He's not making it up. The defense basically tried to indicate that Lacoste was making up the fact that they said it was a celebration dinner, that the Edelson said it was a celebration dinner. All right. We got the next person who I have a million bazillion notes on. So this guy is the guy that basically analyzed who's the police department sergeant. He's the supervisor of Tallahassee Police Department technical operations. He's basically the guy that tracked all of the cell phone data points. And y'all, I have so much notes on this. Like, I'm not going to be able to go through it. I believe he had like 2 days, not 2 full days of testimony, but he started at the end of day 3 and went into day 4 with his testimony. And he's basically the one that came up with the charts of who was calling who back and forth, which reminds me of the dumbest argument that the defense made. So let's go through it. He made a chart of like, okay, Charlie was calling this person and this person was calling this person. And when they were calling that person, they were in these locations. So they tracked Katie McBanois' phone around the rental car place on the second rental. They tracked their phone around Charlie's home. And let's see. He also indicated like when a call was routed to voicemail, that there's certain data points that pop up when people call. He testified to the fact that Garcia left Harvey an angry voicemail because he was calling the Adelson's Institute to yell at Charlie and basically threaten him. He also testified to the fact that people think talking on landlines is somehow safer than talking on cell phones when it comes to people trying to do crimes and not get caught by the police or the police tapping their phone. For whatever reason, he said there's this presumption that somehow you can't have your phone tapped or something. He didn't really go into it. He just said, yes, people do think talking on landlines is better when it comes to like getting your phone tracked and your phone tapped. Let's see. She talked about how McBanois was talking to Charlie Edelson on the way back from the rental car place. And then she turned around and called Garcia right after she got home and right after she was done talking to Charlie. He testified to all of the Edelson family communication, except for, I don't know why I put except for Donna, because he did talk about Donna's. The perception is safer against phone tapping. Garcia got, he also pointed out that Garcia actually got a ticket. He got a ticket prior to driving down to, which one was that one on? He had got a ticket prior to driving down to Tallahassee. Okay. Prior to driving down to Tallahassee, he got a ticket, and they had originally had a blue Hyundai, which was supposedly close to, I think it was supposedly closest. Oh, okay. No, here we go. Garcia got a ticket within an hour of renting the vehicle. Lacoste had a silver Nissan like rental. They changed the car to a blue Hyundai. So this was actually on the June rental. So excuse me for that. On the June rental, they had a silver Nissan, which was close to Lacoste's. However, since there was a mess up, Garcia got a ticket, they changed it to a blue Hyundai. And remember, we talked about before how they were trying to basically frame Lacoste because he would have been driving by Dan Markel's house at the time that the murders would have taken place. He also testified to the fact that Wendy asked to have the kids. On July 6th, she texted Dan Markel asking him if he was going to be available between the 14th and the 18th of July, basically confirming that he was going to be in town for his elimination. The murder happened on July 18th. McBanois went to Rivera's house the same night. Donna and Harvey went to Charlie's house that same night, based on the phone records. Garcia's phone stopped working around 5:19 a.m. He basically testified that that's when they believe that he disposed of his burner phone. McBanois spent the night with Charlie and then visited Garcia in the morning to give him the money. And then she went and picked up her kids. There was no indication of blackmail via the text messages in the weeks following between McBanois, because remember, Charlie said that McBanois was the one that was actually blackmailing her, or not black. Charlie did not want to admit that she was the blackmailer. He kept saying, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that at the time. But they tried to get on Rivera for saying the same thing, like he didn't know that he was being lied to at the time. The defense tried to get on Rivera for the same thing, and then Charlie turned around and did it 2 days later in his own testimony. But basically, Charlie was saying that McBanois was blackmailing him or collecting the money on behalf of the people that were trying to harm him. And after, he was asking her, like, let's go to the pool. You want to go to the beach? You know, just talking about random stuff. And so he's basically saying, oh, well, I only talked to her about random stuff because I didn't think that she was in on it. Dumb excuse, but sure. Sure. McBanois and Edelson broke up, but remain in contact as friends. They secured the wiretap, is what this guy testified to. In October 2013, Wendy tried to buy a house near Miami. Charlie talked her out of it around Halloween. How did he testify to this? Whatever, he testified to it. Okay, and then that's when they basically indicated that they were calling the murder Dad's birthday present. And then so we go into day 4, and Rashbaum is cross-examining. He stated that this evidence existed in 2016. So basically, why was Charlie not arrested to 2022? He was basically trying to establish the location where Charlie's text messages were coming from. He tried to establish that the birthday present was a caterer, because Charlie kept saying, no, we had this kind of food. I paid for the caterer. And he was like, well, I don't know if there was an additional present, but they were talking about this murder, calling it Dad's birthday present. Then the lady who I thought was Donna, but it's not Donna, I believe it was someone from the Markel family, was removed from the crowd, and the judge gave a stern warning that any more misconduct will be removed from the crowd. I'm thinking that she was recording or something. They never really said what it was. On cross-examination, they reconfirmed the thing that the defense tried to muddy, including what was actually said in the text messages and whether duplicate calls were made. Let me see. I don't know. I got guilty on all counts in a random side. Okay. So basically, Rashbum tried to kind of muddy the waters and says, oh, but they were, there were text messages. You don't know what the text messages said. And they were basically in code. And cross-examination basically came back and explained away the kind of the muddying waters of like what they were talking about. They were talking about going to the pool. They were not talking about him being blackmailed and things like that. Okay. And then we go on to the agent Jimenez. Oh, that's not my next person. He's the private FBI guy. Private forensic engineer. He's the computer software to enhance the audio. Okay. I don't think I did. It's all out of order. Whatever. I don't know why it's all out of order. Okay, so he's the forensic engineer. He extracts audio and video. He has done it for 35 years. He clarified the 2 recordings for the lunch with Harvey and Charlie, and then he also did the one for McBanois and Charlie, and so they have the transcripts for the audio. He used the video for timing purposes. So there were 2 agents that went into the Dolce Vita. I think it's called Dolce Vita restaurant. There was 2 agents that went inside of there, and basically they both had video and audio, but one of them had better video and the one of them had better audio. So he basically used the video from one of the cameras and then the audio from the other one and tried to line it up as best as they can. He said, the defense objected to omit the correct audio. Also clarified another, let me see. Okay. And then so Charlie's defense in this situation was that the analyst didn't know what conversation was happening before. Yes, of course. The only thing that he knows are the things that were recorded. But Rashbaum kept trying to be like, oh, but they could have had a conversation in the car before, right? Or they could have had a conversation before the agent sat down, right? And this guy's like, yeah, sure, they could have had this conversation. But I don't know what was said there. I only know what was said on these tapes. And these are the tapes where Charlie was like, oh, I think somebody's recording in the bag, when it was the conversation with Harvey. And then the conversation where he was like, yeah, if they had any evidence of us, we can basically fly out of here, or why would we be sitting here, and blah, blah, blah. And basically telling McBanois what to do in order to get out of the agent or the situation with the undercovers. Let me see. The defense basically tried to object to the recordings because they put like ellipses instead of inaudible. So they had to change the transcript back. They had to, give them some time to review that. And then who did you have before? Okay, we have Kimmy here. Welcome, Kimmy. I can't hear you. Can y'all hear her? I can't hear you. Is it me again? I don't want to mess anything up again. It says I'm supposed to be able to hear you. Let me know in the chat if you guys can hear Kimmy. Tiny D says no, can't hear Kimmy. Spirit of the Tree says no either. So I don't know if the audio is not all the way connected. Because you're unmuted. I just don't know why the audio is not coming up. But while we figure that out, I'm going to keep going with the people. There was someone you had before James Keith. Who was that? Oh, we already covered him. Okay, who's after him? Kristen. Oh, I missed some people. Or did I just have it all out of order? The private investigator came in and Oh, you know what? Those people didn't have pictures. Yeah. And I don't remember they didn't give us their names either. So, okay. So basically a private investigator came in and did surveillance at a sushi's restaurant. That is the conversation with Harvey and Charlie. He basically authenticates the recording. On cross, they stated that he did not notice security cameras at Charlie's house while they were being arrested. He also indicated that Charlie did not really resist arrest. He just kind of went willingly. And then there was also another private FBI who did physical surveillance of Charlie's but of Donna during the bump, or I guess during Charlie during the bump. He was there. No, it was of Donna during the bump. He was there basically like for protection of the FBI agent. Basically, if Donna started shooting at him or something of that nature, they would be able to be there to basically try to save him if something went wrong. He's the one that testified to the recording equipment in the restaurant. And he was one of the ones that actually sat closer to the table with Charlie and Katie, and he was the one with the good audio on there. This entered the recording into evidence, but they did not play it. And then they talked to that guy, Keith, and that's when they entered the altered one where it was supposed to be clearer and easier to hear. On cross, they stated they were there prior to arriving, again, trying to prove that Katie and Charlie could have or may have had a conversation before the recording. I think it was a stupid point to make. Of course, they were probably talking. I'm sure they didn't just start talking when the recording happened. I don't know what he was trying to convince us of. Like, was he trying to say that, they just basically started talking about fake stuff when these people with recorders who they did not know had recorders showed up, because they were sitting like tables away. They weren't sitting like right next to them. And he testified that he does not know what they were freaking talking about before he arrived, which makes a lot of sense. Let's see here. And then we get into Special Agent Patrick Sanford. He was he went back on the stand as well. So let's see. Okay, I only have 2 undercover people, so I might have missed one. And then we go back to Sanford. Agent Sanford, who testified at the beginning of the trial. They basically played all of the recordings for him. And he basically just testified to the recordings, which was very odd to me. They played the recording between Donna Adelson and Charlie. They played the other conversation with them, and all these conversations back and forth, and was like, well, they didn't do this, right? They were talking in code, right? What does this mean? And what was the code word for this? Because he was one of the lead investigators on the case. Let's see. They talk about Wendy Adelson and the fact that they liked the guy she was dating and wanted him to date that guy, and they were basically still meddling in Wendy's love life. And then he basically just goes through all of the videos. This was the part that I couldn't really make it through because it was very difficult for me to actually hear the recordings. But for whatever reason, when the defense actually started playing the recordings, it went a lot better. It was a lot smoother to me, but they did not play all the recordings. So that was annoying to me. So after him, the state basically rests their case. And then we have the attorney that Kimmy had pulled up just a moment ago. If Kimmy is still there. Okay, yeah, it was that guy that she just showed there. And then now we're coming back to Kristen. Yeah, so Charlie then starts his defense, or no, they first move for acquittal. The court denies the request for acquittal. The lady attorney is the one that actually did it. And then they bring on this Kristen Adamson. She was the first defense witness, and she used to be Wendy's divorce attorney. She testified on behalf of Charlie Adelson. Let's see what else she said here. She testified as far as the relocation. You know, the whole defense's premise is that that Charlie did not care about the relocation. He didn't care. And also that Wendy was not expecting to win the relocation. I believe this lady had been a lawyer for like 20 years or so, if I remember correctly. And she basically testified that she explained to Wendy that it's very hard to win a relocation. And I'm like, duh, I can tell you that. And I haven't been a lawyer that long. Especially when you have a freaking 50-50 custody. Why would you file that? Why would you file that? That is a frivolous motion, in my opinion. You have 50-50 custody. Who's going to let you move to Miami from Tallahassee? I don't even know how far away it is, but no, that's not going to freaking happen. So I'm sure you told her, but she was still pretty upset. She basically testified that Wendy was not that upset after she lost the relocation because she already knew it was a possibility that it would be lost. And if you guys remember, it was lost with prejudice. So still, stupid move. Don't know why she even filed that. Let me see. She also testified that offering money for relocation is not illegal and that it has happened before. And she testified that it had happened recently in a case that she either witnessed or was involved in. Because remember, the Adelsons were going to offer $1 million for Dan to agree to the relocation, and actually for Dan to also move to Miami so he can be with the boys, but still travel to Tallahassee to do his job, which is strange. But she says that is something normal. It has not come across my desk yet, but I don't know if it's because she deals with these rich people that have $1 million. That has $1 million to offer. She testified about what Dan was asking for as far as the grandparents' rights. She said that was a motion that was not going to succeed. They were not worried about that motion. And she basically stated that this was a run-of-the-mill motion. Maybe in Tallahassee, I don't know, but that is not a run-of-the-mill motion. Most people are not filing lawsuits or motions against the grandparents to not see the kids because you're calling their mom and dad stupid. They're only doing that when you're calling mom and dad stupid, okay? So she said this was a normal thing. They weren't worried about losing that motion. I'm like, lady, don't get up here and lie for these people. Don't get up here and lie for these people. Let me see. So she was also accused of she was the one that was accused of helping Wendy hide assets on her financial disclosures. And basically what Adelson testified to was that they did disclose it. Basically, Dan didn't like the way that they were disclosing it because it was technically like separate property. So he was not entitled to it and he wanted to be entitled to it. And basically he kept redoing discovery on it over and over again. And basically he just didn't like it. He filed a motion against her. She states that she only removed herself as counsel because there were being very serious accusations made against her directly, which she knew that she could not be both attorney and a witness, and she knew she would need to be called as a witness if the case were to move forward. And she says that's the only reason why she withdrew from the case, not because she did any wrong in the case. And she also referred Wendy to another attorney. Let's see. The state came on to cross and asked her about the case where someone paid someone money to move or to relocate. And she states that they paid altogether about $200,000 to relocate. I don't think the prosecution was really expecting that because that's a lot less than $1 million and it doesn't really support the prosecution's case. I thought that was strange, but it is what it is. She stated also that she did not speak with Donna much, that she barely had any contact with her, despite Donna constantly emailing Wendy and telling her what she needs to tell her attorney. Okay. And everybody has those clients where you know that the person you're talking to, although it is their divorce, they're not the one running the show. It's mom in their ear, it's dad in their ear, it's uncle in their ear. And that's basically what appeared to be happening here. Okay. And then next we bring Charlie Adelson onto the stand. He only had 2 witnesses. This attorney lady for his sister testifying to the fact that the relocation was not a big deal. And then we have Mr. Charlie Edelson himself getting on the stand, being all soft-spoken, stating that, you know, whether his sister and the kids came to be with him or not wasn't really a big deal for him. Yes, he staples money. Yes, McBanois asked him for the money, but he never thought that she was, you know, blackmailing him. He thought that she was helping him, and his extortion money, it never went up in price. So she had to be helping him, because normally over 3 or 4 years, extortion costs, or I guess it was more like 2 years, extortion costs go up. So he thought that she was really putting her foot down on these gangsters' neck and telling them, no, you better not raise his payment plan. You better not raise his payment plan. And that the $3,000 a month was actually not going towards the principal balance, is what they called it, of the 100, or what was it, the 1/3 of a million, so $330,000. The $3,000 a month was not going towards that total. He could either pay the whole amount off. He gave them like and I think they said $138,000 cash. And then from there on, he was just paying the $3,000 a month, because he was confident that he could keep paying the $3,000 a month. And he knew that if he paid off the full amount, they would basically just keep coming back and keep asking for more money, and it would never be over. So he would rather just like pay $3,000 a month, knowing that he will be paying it for the rest of his life. Kind of like how we do with our student loans. And we know we don't want to pay them, right? So we do the bare minimum, and you end up paying them off for the rest of your life, right? So that's basically what Charlie Adelson said. When the cross came up, he was so freaking defensive. And it came off as very, you're guilty to me. The state kept trying to establish that Katie McBanois was a bad person. She was a bad person. No, I didn't know at the time. You keep trying to say I knew at the time. I'm like, no, she's literally not saying that that you knew at the time. She wants you to admit that she was the one extorting. Oh, but I didn't know until 2022 or 2019 when she was convicted. That's not the question that she was asking you. So he was basically coming off as very evasive, very defensive. I think that he really, 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 really hurt himself and testifying for himself on everything that he testified for, because he was up there for a long time, and I was just kind of listening to it while I was getting my nails done. But yeah, I don't know if Kimmy's mic wasn't working. So yeah, I guess his testimony wasn't that long, really. I feel like Agent Sanford's testimony, or the tracking people's testimony, was a lot longer. There was some evidence that the defense was trying to submit for Charlie Edelson. Oh, it was the text messages that were actually going between McBanois and Charlie. And the defense wanted to admit these text messages because it was around the same time that these phone calls that the phone tracker guy admitted into evidence. And the defense's argument was like, well, the prosecution got to admit the evidence of the chart when talking about the calls, and there was no context of what the calls were about. These text messages actually show what the calls are about. State, being good lawyers that they are, objected to it as hearsay, because it's hearsay. It's text messages between people that you're trying to prove the truth of the matter asserted, because you're trying to say, oh no, this is what the phone calls were actually about. Hearsay. You know, we're not going to cross-examine people on this. And he tried to compare a chart with arrows on it that had no words. It just said Charlie called this person, Wendy called this person, Donna called this person. That's not hearsay. So the defense basically tried to do a red herring and was like, well, they got to do it, so I should be able to do it too. But it's not even the same thing. They did not submit text messages. They just said text messages were sent. Phone calls were had, things like that. And he's just like, well, we should be able to do it. And it was like the biggest little kid fit that I've ever seen. Well, no, not that I ever seen, but it was just very immature. I'm not sure if he handles these kind of cases. Charlie might want to argue ineffective counsel because my boy did not object to anything. He tried to admit evidence that should not be admitted. He actually got in some evidence that I thought should have been hearsay, but I can't remember exactly what it was. That I thought should have been hearsay, and the state did object as hearsay, but the court ended up letting it in. So that was surprising to me. Okay, let me go ahead and jump in the chat and see what the peeps are saying. We got a couple starred chats, so I'm going to try to go through those first. This was kind of a short stream today, and I skipped Reddit thinking it was going to be a long stream. Tiny D says, shout out to everyone listening and not able to comment. Make sure you take a second and hit the like button. Yes, of course. Thank you for the reminder, Tiny D. Where are we at here? We are at 53 likes. Shout out to the Beehive. Yes, shout out to the Beehive. Love to see it. We hit 50 likes in a live stream. Yay. Okay. Thank you for the reminder, Tiny D. Richie McIntyre says Erica's face was strong. Erica who? Oh, Erica Johnson. Yeah, and she seemed to have a really good relationship with Charlie. Defense tried to say, oh, were you scared of him? They got objected to for relevance. Who gives a F if Erica is scared of him? We're not accusing him of doing anything to Erica. Spirit of the Tree says hi to Tiny D. Thank you. This case is yet another installment of We Gonna Find Out. I mean, yeah, F around and find out. They F'd around, they found out. They got away with it for a long time. Tiny D says, right, Spirit, they don't have the term stupid criminals for nothing. I think they did, not to say they did a good job, but they got away with it for a very long time. And I think they could have gotten away with it if they weren't using the phone so much. I'm glad that they were because they need to go to jail for this. But yeah, they caught themselves up thinking that they was too slick, okay? Spirit of the Tree says, I appreciate this conversation. Well, we appreciate you for stopping in, talking about preach it. Love it. Tiny says, 48 likes. We can make 50 easy tonight. And we did. And we did. Yes, we did. Thank you, Tanya, for the reminder. And then Spirit of the Tree said, I saw a snippet during the trial, his testimony, and had no clue what I was watching. I looked it up since. LOL. Yeah, and it's a very interesting case. In my opinion, it's a very interesting case. But they just, I don't know. They really screwed over that guy. They really screwed over those kids. I can't believe his mom tried to flee the country, which resulted in her being arrested only a week after he was convicted. Like, that is insanity to me. I definitely thought she was not going to be arrested until like January, but the fact that she was trying to flee the country actually sped up her getting arrested. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely crazy. So that was Charlie Edelson's trial in a nutshell. We covered the other half last Thursday. So we're going to try to get some timestamps up so that you guys can watch it, and maybe I'll break it. Let me see. Let me not commit to too much. I would try to break it up and put it all into one so that it's not spaced out, because I thought I was going to be able to finish it all in one. But yeah, that's 8 days of trial. And what we did it in like 3-4 hours, so that you didn't have to watch 8 days of trial on very slow motion. They were talking in very, very slow motion. So if you are watching live, go ahead and drop in the chat box what you thought about the case. If you're watching on the replay, go ahead and drop in the comments what you thought about the case. And we're about to log out of here. I don't see any more chats coming in, so I think that is all for tonight, Beehive. It was a short stream today, but we should be back on Thursday covering something. I'm thinking we're going to be on something else by Thursday. Like, yes, this did just pop up and give us some new tea with Donna, but I think it's time to get back into our fun content. So hopefully there's some cases that we are looking for, or I can find that we can cover on the channel. And of course, if anything new pops up in Donna Adelson's case, or even Charlie's case for that matter, because guess what? His case is still going on. He still has to be sentenced. There's still going to be a hearing in, I think, December 13th for the sentencing and for the impact statements that are to be made. So we will be covering that. Okay, we got Ella Swanky. Hello, nice to see you. A member and moderator of the channel saying congrats on the new stream upgrade. Thank you very much. We've been working on it. We have been working on it. Tiny saying have a good night to everyone. Yes, of course. Spirit saying I love the energy. Namaste. Thank you very much. Ella Swanky says love the transition screen. So stinking cute. Thank you. My graphics, the graphics that I tried to make myself. Okay, but yes, hopefully on Thursday we can have some wonderful content to cover, get a little bit off of this heavier stuff, but it technically wasn't that heavy. Luckily, we did not have to focus on the tragedy part of the story too much, but more on the stupidity of these criminals, which made it a little lighter for us. But we're going to get back into the celebrity, the trademark, the funny drama of this channel, and we'll do updates on the Adelson as they come up, because I think it's a pretty good good case and something that's been very interesting for the channel. But with that said, we're about to head out for the night. I hope everyone has a great rest of the week, and I will see you on Thursday.